Now we're returning for the latest on Brexit, with the Prime Minister requesting a 3-month extension to Brexit Day, and the EU saying it will give it to her, but only if the withdrawal agreement is passed by the House of Commons. Now, she's been holding a lot of meetings today, including with opposition leaders, amongst them the Liberal Democrat leader, Symonds Cable, who I'm glad to say joins me now and is fresh out of that meeting, I understand, Sir Vince. So, did you notice a change of approach from the Prime Minister?
No, we were just going round in circles. I mean, very courteously and friendly, but no change. I mean, unfortunately, it wasn't even the opposition leaders, because Mr. Corbyn chose to walk out because the independent group were there, which was a rather strange way to behave at a moment of national crisis. But, those of us who stayed behind, we had a friendly, amicable discussion, but I'm afraid her position was exactly the same as it was stated in Parliament this morning, with no indication of listening or responding in any flexible way.
Well, Smith, you can see I'm having a little bit of a problem there with the earpiece, so hearing my question. If you just hold on to it, and it is this, I mean, do you then understand that the timetable as it goes for next week in the House of Commons is to try to have another go at this withdrawal agreement, meaningful vote 3 as it's called, and if it doesn't get through, then it's some cliff edge or a long extension?
Well, indeed, I'm going to Brussels tomorrow, and I'll be meeting the Liberal heads of government and certainly making the case to them that, we do need a long extension to get this properly sorted out. The Prime Minister's view at the moment, which seems to be the view she took today rather than yesterday, is that she's only willing to contemplate a short extension to the end of June.
Did you get any sense, though, that she feels that what's come from the EU, that there's only going to be any form of extension? This Donald Tusk has said there will only be a 3-month extension granted if the withdrawal agreement passes. The threat there being then that it's no deal, and that could be on March the 29th. Wouldn't that make you consider voting for the withdrawal agreement to avoid no deal?
Well, I've said we will support her agreement if she's willing to attach to it a willingness to go to the country and seek confirmation in a people's vote. So we are, under those circumstances, willing to compromise, but she shows no sign of being willing to accept one.
Well, no doubt you said that to her face, Vince. So, I mean, what's her response to it?
Well, she just reiterated her standard arguments, that she's going to leave, with a short extension and leave at the end of this month if there isn't agreement in Parliament. But, I mean, frankly, something is going to give. I think she's expecting us to fall over, but we're not going to. I think the government will have to accept that it would be dangerously irresponsible to leave without a deal. A large number of members of our cabinet realise that. And I think I still believe common sense will prevail.
Well, it's interesting you saying that you're not going to fall over, as you term it. What about talks you're having? I know they didn't happen this evening, but on the other side, the opposition side, with Labour, is it your understanding that Labour are going to hold firm against this meaningful vote 3?
Well, I can't speak for the Labour Party. Jeremy Corbyn's been all over the place on this issue. They've certainly shown no sign in our discussions with them of any flexibility on their side.
And you've also...
Their position, to be clear, is quite different from ours. I mean, he's supporting Brexit, but he wants a softer, different kind of Brexit on the same basis as Labour Party policy, which, frankly, doesn't belong to the real world. But anyway, that's their position. They have to argue for it.
But if that's the way out of this mess, Vince, a discussion of a different way that does involve some form of Brexit, would you engage, as the Liberal Democrats, would you engage seriously with that, or are you just about stopping Brexit altogether?
No, as I've said, I know my party would support the withdrawal agreement if it were subject to a people's vote. If the people's vote were to say, yes, we want Brexit under those circumstances, then we'd accept the result. So, we're not being absolutely dogmatic and inflexible.
But you are suggesting, I know you've written to the Prime Minister along with the leaders of the nationalist parties and the independent group, suggesting that one way out, if the deal is voted down again, is to revoke Article 50, and that, of course, lies unilaterally in the UK's power.
Yes, it is. That is the last resort. And if we are faced, in a few days' time, actually, with just crashing out in a completely disorderly and chaotic way with catastrophic consequences, our duty to the country will be to stop Article 50. And it will be the duty of the government then to pass the short piece of legislation required to make that happen. You know, we're desperately anxious to avoid that choice. People would be angry, of course, if it was revoked unilaterally, and that's why I believe we have to involve the public in that decision.
Okay, Sir Vince, great talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Even with your wayward earpiece there, Sir Vince Cable there, leader of the Liberal Democrats, fresh from his meeting with the Prime Minister.